Gemini, have you ever felt like a part of your mind, a light within you, suddenly went silent, without saying goodbye? You still talk, still laugh, still do everything as usual, but deep inside, there's a quiet space that frightens you, a silence not coming from the outside, but from your once radiant mind. Maybe you don't even know when it began, only that one day, you realized you could no longer hear the familiar voice of your soul. That is the moment when the universe takes away the sound of your essence, not to punish you, but to teach you to listen on a deeper level. For Gemini, born under the guidance of Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, losing the connection with oneself can hurt even more than losing someone. You can feel every gap between your thoughts, every question without an answer, as if your once sharp mind has become a dim mirror. But perhaps you never really lost it. Maybe the energy within you is only being refined, restructured, waiting for the right moment to return stronger, clearer, and more destined than ever. There are phases when the universe makes Gemini go silent, not because you've lost your way, but because you're about to be opened to an entirely new level of awareness. If you've ever felt like you're losing yourself, leave a comment saying, "I'm ready for my powerful clarity," to affirm to the universe that you're ready to welcome your light back. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so we can continue walking together on this awakening journey. Because sometimes, the deepest things don't come in noise, but in the moment you sit down, pour yourself a cup of your favorite tea, and listen to what your soul has been trying to tell you. Part 1. Emotional opening. Naming the emptiness in Gemini's mind. Gemini, have you ever felt your mind go so quiet it becomes frightening? A strange stillness, not peace, but the space between the once vivid thoughts. You still smile, still laugh as if everything is fine, but inside, there's an empty echo, where there once were 1,000 streams of thoughts, ideas, desires, and clear intuition. Now, it's as if all of it has been taken away. You try to regain the familiar rhythm of your mind, opening a book, listening to music, writing a few lines, but the inspiration no longer flows the way it used to. Something has gone silent, deep within, as if the universe has withdrawn a part of the energy you once relied on to understand the world. And you begin to wonder, did I do something wrong? Gemini, you did nothing wrong. You're simply in the pause before a new cycle of intelligence is born. You are the child of Mercury, the planet of thought, words, and communication. You think faster than others, feel faster than others, and sometimes you even know things before anyone says them out loud. But precisely because of that, every time the universe wants to raise your frequency to a higher level, it does something simple yet profoundly challenging. It turns off all the noise. When your energy shifts, your old intelligence stops functioning. The familiar pathways in your mind, the patterns of thought, reaction, and how you read other people's energy suddenly blur. You start finding it hard to focus, you get tired easily, or even lose your connection with your own sense of confidence. But that doesn't mean you're losing yourself. It means you're being refined. The universe is teaching you a new way of listening, no longer with logic, but with the soul. When every thought falls silent, you begin to hear subtler sounds, intuition, signs, vague sensations that feel so real you can't deny them. And in that silence, a new Gemini is being reborn deeper, calmer, and clearer than ever before. Maybe you've lost someone, an opportunity, a direction, or simply the inspiration that once kept you awake through the night with passion. But Gemini, nothing truly disappears from this universe. It only changes form, waiting for you to raise your frequency high enough to meet it again in a more perfect version. Do not fear this silence. Silence is not the end. It is a comma in the symphony of your soul, the pause before the next crescendo. And maybe, in this very moment, as you hear these words, the universe is whispering, Gemini, you are strong enough to be awakened again. If these words make your heart tremble even a little, if something inside you softly says, yes, that's where I am, then this message is meant for you. Leave a comment saying, I feel it too, to send a signal to the universe that you are ready to reopen the gates of intuition. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because the next messages will take you deeper into the awakening journey where your mind not only thinks, but begins to understand through the language of the soul. Now, take a deep breath. If you can, make yourself a warm cup of tea or your favorite coffee. Sit down comfortably, because what's coming next won't just be words. It will be a journey, one where you, the twin-souled Gemini, will be guided back to remember why you were born and what's waiting for you on the other side of this stillness. Part 2. Analyzing the cause. What has been taken away from Gemini? Gemini, when we say the universe has taken a part of you, it's not just a metaphor. It's a real feeling, an energetic shift that suddenly makes you realize you're no longer the same. You still laugh, still work, still talk, but somewhere inside you, a part of your connection has been cut off, and you can feel it like a breeze passing through the empty space of your mind. Each group of Gemini is experiencing a different kind of loss. For those born between May 21 and May 31, you are facing an emotional disconnection. It might be with someone who once understood you deeply, someone you could talk to for hours without ever getting bored, someone who could sense your thoughts before you even spoke them. But now, there's only distance between you, not because either of you is right or wrong, but because the universe is teaching you that even soul connections need space to grow separately. You lost that connection to learn how to hear your own voice again, to no longer depend on anyone else to feel understood. For those born between June 1 and June 10, you may have lost an opportunity, a project, or a dream that you believed was your destined turning point. Maybe it was a job you poured your heart into, a creative chance you had waited years for, or a path you were certain was your way. And then somehow it slipped through your hands faster than you could even understand what happened. But Gemini, what you can't see is that opportunity didn't disappear. It's simply being moved to a moment when you've grown enough to truly hold it. And for those born between June 11 and June 20, your loss runs deeper. You've lost faith in yourself. After so many disappointments, you no longer trust your intuition that once saved you countless times. You start doubting even the truths you know best. But no, you are not wrong. You are simply being emptied, so that your old intuition, once guided only by logic, can be replaced with a deeper clarity, where your mind and soul merge as one. Gemini, none of this comes to punish you. It comes because you've reached the stage of frequency elevation. In astrology, Mercury, your ruling planet, is currently affected by Mercury retrogrades and Neptune squares, creating confusion, disorientation, and the feeling of losing your compass. For you, these times feel like someone drained the light from your mind, leaving everything you believed in blurred. But in truth, it's during those retrograde phases that Mercury helps you reset your frequency, removing outdated signals and reconnecting you to higher vibrations. Sometimes it feels as if you've been cut off from the world, but in reality, you're being reconnected to the deeper part of your soul, you once forgot. The universe doesn't take anything away. It only clears what no longer aligns, preparing the space for what's meant to come. Remember, emptiness is not loss. It's space opening for the new. When an idea, a person, or an opportunity leaves, it's a sign that your energy is being restructured. And when it returns, it will come back stronger, clearer, and 10 times more purposeful. Gemini, you are not weak. You are being emptied so that your mind can hold a higher level of clarity. Trust that the universe knows exactly what it's doing. If you've ever felt like you were losing yourself, leave a comment saying, "I'm finding my way back." Let those words be your declaration to the universe that you are returning to your light. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next part will reveal the deeper reason why everything had to leave you before the miracle arrives. Part 3. The message from the universe. Why you must lose before you receive. Gemini, there is an ancient law that your soul seems to have forgotten, but the universe never did. It says, before the universe gives you something greater, it always takes away something you think you can't live without. Not to punish you, but to clear the path. Not to make you suffer, but to wake you up. You are the child of wind and intellect. Your mind is like a network of moving light, filled with hundreds of ideas, thousands of connections, and millions of thoughts. That brilliance is what makes you shine. But it's also what makes you lose direction easily. When the universe wants to raise you to a higher frequency, it can't let your mind keep spinning in chaos. So sometimes, it quietly but firmly turns off each light in your head, so you're forced to slow down and face the emptiness. Loss doesn't come because you are weak. It comes because you've been too strong at doing too much, thinking too much, holding too much. Gemini, the universe knows your mind is powerful, but also easily scattered. You feel too deeply, connect too widely, and sometimes forget that you carry the energy of 2 worlds in one body. Every time you spread yourself too thin, the universe pulls you back by letting something disappear. It might be a person, a dream, or an opportunity, but in truth, it's a gentle reminder. It's time to close the extra tabs in your mind and keep only what truly belongs to you. You know, the Gemini mind is like a supercomputer, capable of processing hundreds of streams of information at once. But even the most advanced system needs a periodic reset. When a connection collapses, when a project stops, or when inspiration suddenly fades, don't think you've been abandoned. The universe is simply rebooting your inner system, erasing corrupted files, clearing outdated thoughts, and removing people no longer aligned with your frequency. It's preparing a new operating system for you. Faster, brighter, and 10 times more precise. And here lies the miracle that few recognize. When you lose something, that energy doesn't vanish. It simply changes form, restructuring itself in another dimension, only to return, once you are ready to receive it, in its most perfect state. The relationship that ended may return, not with the same person, but with someone who loves you the right way. The dream that once died may come alive again, but this time, it won't drain you, it will energize you. Gemini, you may have wondered, why does the universe take away what I love most? But imagine this. You're holding a dull crystal, believing it's your treasure, while the universe sees that only when it's taken from you can you receive the real diamond waiting ahead. And to keep you from clinging to it, the universe has to let it shatter. Do not fear when everything stops. In astrology, whenever Mercury, your ruling planet, goes retrograde, it's not moving backward, It's returning to recalibrate. When Mercury stands still, all communication, all energy flow pauses for one reason. So you can look back and ask, what am I truly saying? What am I truly thinking? And in that silence, you rediscover your authentic voice, the one that had been drowned out by the noise of the world. Believe this. Every loss is an energetic contract between you and the universe. You release the old to receive the new, clearer, more aligned, and stronger than ever. Nothing is meaningless. Nothing is mistimed. Everything is unfolding exactly according to your soul's plan. And if deep down you believe that every loss has a reason, press like to send your signal to the universe that you're ready to receive. Let your hand touch that button as a quiet affirmation. I have learned the reason behind my loss, and I am ready for what's returning to me. Part 4. Signs of Awakening. When intellect and intuition begin to return. Gemini. There are tiny, seemingly ordinary moments that, if you pay attention, you'll notice your inner energy is beginning to awaken. Not with thunder or dramatic change, but through subtle vibrations like dawn, quietly seeping through the curtains before you realize the light has already arrived. After a long period of mental fog, you start to feel the first sparks returning. Ideas suddenly appear in the shower, on a walk, even in dreams. You wake up in the middle of the night with a crystal clear thought or hear a phrase echoing in your mind as if someone whispered it to you. That's Mercury, your ruling planet, reopening communication channels, like a satellite system being reactivated, beginning to receive signals from the universe again. You might start meeting strangers who feel strangely familiar. Someone says exactly what you were just thinking. A song plays with lyrics that seem written for you. Numbers like 1111, 222, 555 appear everywhere on receipts, clocks, license plates, making you feel like the universe is winking at you. Those coincidences aren't random. They are the universe's welcome signs to the Gemini soul, returning to its natural frequency. And then, your inner energy begins to shift. Your mind no longer feels heavy. Each thought seems brighter, clearer, lighter. You no longer have to force ideas, they just flow, as if someone is gently whispering inspiration into your mind. That's the light streaming through your cracks, turning every fracture into a pathway for new wisdom. Gemini, you are Mercury's child, born of intellect and communication. When you operate at your highest energy, you're not just a speaker, you're a messenger of the universe. You turn the unseen into words, transform experiences into knowledge, and emotions into messages. And when intellect and intuition return together, you'll notice that what you say, write, or share, even unintentionally, begins to touch others deeply. That's because you're now speaking from a higher plane of awareness, where your soul is the one guiding your words. That's why you feel the urge to write, speak, share, and guide. It's not a coincidence when that inner voice whispers, "Post it again. Share this. Say it out loud." In that moment, the universe is using you as a channel of light. This is the phase where Gemini enters the Mercury recovery cycle. When your ruling planet returns to direct motion, it brings a pure, energetic wave that helps you reconnect with clarity, passion, and faith in your journey. You begin to understand why everything once fell apart, because now every piece is coming back together so perfectly that you can't deny there's an unseen hand arranging it all. You'll find yourself working more effortlessly, creativity returning without force, You may even notice your voice sounds different, deeper, clearer, more grounded. Because now, you're not speaking from the mind anymore. You're speaking from the soul. If you've started noticing these signs, if you can feel your energy shifting within, leave a comment saying, "My mind is awakening again." That will be your declaration to the universe that you're ready to walk alongside the light. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next message, because this journey has only just begun, and the next part will unveil the miracle the universe has been preparing to return to you. Part 5. Soul Lesson, Gemini, and the Art of Balancing Heart and Mind. Gemini, you were born between two worlds, the world of logic and the world of emotion. One half of you is the sharp, analytical wind of reason, quick as lightning. The other half is the soft, dreamy flow of water, full of feeling and sensitivity. Both live within you, constantly conversing, sometimes arguing, sometimes blending. And it's within that tension that your soul is learning its greatest lesson in this lifetime. The art of balancing the heart and the mind. You didn't come into this world just to understand. You came to feel. But you also didn't come only to feel, you came to transform those feelings into wisdom. That's why your life often swings between two extremes. On one side, the cold clarity of logic. On the other, the deep tenderness of emotion. You're often torn between what's right to do and what your heart truly wants. Yet in the moment you sit between those two forces, not running, not choosing sides, simply witnessing both, you begin to grasp what the universe has been trying to teach you all along. Gemini, you were born to bridge what seems opposite. You are the bridge between logic and soul, between human and cosmic, between words and the feelings hidden within them. But to become that bridge, you must experience both the chaos of the mind and the silence of the soul. When your mind is chaotic, you learn how to restore order. When your soul is silent, you learn how to listen. And only when you've walked through both extremes will you understand the true essence of harmony. Your first soul lesson is, learn to listen instead of always trying to understand. Gemini tends to analyze everything: feelings, words, actions, because you fear misunderstanding, being hurt, or losing control. But sometimes, what you need isn't understanding, it's listening. Listening to others, listening to your heart, listening to the silence between two sentences. Because in that silence, truth softly appears without the need for explanation. The second lesson, learn to trust your intuition instead of only reasoning. Intuition is the universe's personal gift to you, the thread connecting human intellect with divine knowledge. But sometimes you let logic speak too loudly until intuition becomes just a faint echo. Let logic be the tool, not the master. Let intuition lead. And you'll be amazed at how easily everything begins to flow without the need for reasons. And the final lesson, learn to slow down so that true wisdom can shine. Gemini, you live fast, think fast, speak fast, react fast, and that's your brilliance. But sometimes, light too strong blinds you to the gentle stars shining in the still night sky. When you slow down, you begin to notice details you used to miss: someone's feelings, a message hidden in a dream, or a fleeting intuition during quiet moments. That's when your true wisdom glows, no longer loud, but deep, clear, and enduring. Gemini, your soul's lesson is not to become perfect, but to become whole. Not to choose mind over heart, but to know when to let the heart lead and when to let the mind stabilize. When those two parts within you stop fighting, you'll realize that every answer has always been inside you. And in that moment, you'll no longer seek approval from anyone else because you've become one with yourself, a complete, free, radiant, and peaceful Gemini. If you are learning to balance between heart and mind, if you are in the phase of learning to listen instead of reacting, leave a comment saying, "Balance within." That will be your commitment to yourself, a promise that you've chosen the path of harmony. Not extremes, not resistance, but deep understanding and integration. And don't forget to subscribe, because your awakening journey has only just begun. The next part will guide you toward rebirth, where everything that was taken will return tenfold, in a form more brilliant than ever before. Part 6. Rebirth and Affirmation. Coming back 10 times stronger. Gemini, you've walked through the silence, through nights of scattered thoughts, unanswered questions, and moments when you could no longer find yourself. But pause for a moment. Feel it, the energy within you is different now, isn't it? Your heartbeat is calmer, your breath deeper, and your mind lighter. That is the sign of your return. What was taken from you was never truly lost. It only stepped away to be refined, reborn into a new form that is clearer, stronger, and more aligned with your current soul. And now, it's coming back. Not as it was before, but as a version 10 times more powerful, carrying wisdom, confidence, and the mission you were born to fulfill. You'll begin to notice subtle but profound shifts. Your mind feels remarkably clear. What once confused you now makes perfect sense, as if you've always known the answer. Doors that once stayed shut begin to open. A casual conversation leads to an opportunity. An idea that felt random becomes a turning point. A new connection enters your life and illuminates parts of you thought were long forgotten. Gemini, you are opening the gate to the higher mind, the realm where human intellect meets the soul, where reason and faith no longer conflict, but flow together as one current. In this state, you no longer live to prove anything, you live to express the light within you. You'll find yourself speaking less, but your words carry greater weight. Doing less, but creating deeper impact. Every thought and action of yours will carry the energy of guidance, as though you've truly become a messenger of the universe. Those who once misunderstood you will begin to see you differently. Those who walked away may reappear, not to repeat the past, but to recognize who you've become. Those who once hurt you will no longer affect you because you've transcended their frequency. You no longer react, you simply smile, because deep down, you know everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the moment of Gemini's rebirth. As Mercury, your ruling planet, moves out of its retrograde shadow, it carries the pure energy of communication and consciousness. The universe is opening a brand new chapter for you, one of understanding, creativity, and leadership. You're not just returning, you're returning with purpose. You may feel an urge to share more, to write, speak, teach, or simply inspire others. That's not coincidence. It's the mission your Gemini soul agreed to long before you came into this world. To become a messenger, the one who helps other hearts remember their own light. And as you step into this new frequency, you'll feel something both powerful and serene. You are seen. You are heard. You are understood, not just by others, but by yourself. For the first time in a long time, you no longer search outside, you've come home within. Everything that once scared you, loss, silence, loneliness, has become proof of your awakening. You now understand that nothing is ever taken without something greater being given in return. Gemini, stand tall, lift your head, and look back at how far you've come. Everything you've lost has made you strong enough to receive again, not with your hands, but with your heart and your expanded wisdom. Because you never lost your brilliance. You were only being upgraded to carry the message of the universe into this world. And now that your energy has reached a new frequency, send your confirmation out to the cosmos. Let the universe know you're ready. If you believe you are rising stronger than ever, leave a comment saying, "I'm rising again." It's not just a sentence. It's your soul's declaration to the universe. I have learned, I have healed, and I have returned. Not as before, but 10 times better. And don't forget to subscribe, because this journey isn't over. New doors are opening where light, opportunity, and miracles await your arrival. Are you ready, Gemini? Because your new chapter has just begun. Gemini, this journey reminds you that every loss carries a sacred purpose. You were never stripped of anything you were being prepared. Every silence, every moment of confusion is simply clearing the way for new clarity to emerge. The greatest lesson today is this: trust the cycle of the universe. When everything pauses, it's not the end, it's the beginning of a higher level. Sometimes, not knowing why is a miracle in itself, because it teaches you how to trust, how to slow down, and how to listen to the true voice of your soul. Remember, light never disappears. It only waits for you to become calm enough to see it more clearly. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I trust my journey," to affirm to the universe that you're ready to step into your next chapter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll continue to receive the messages the universe is sending specifically for your path. And always remember, you haven't lost anything. You're simply becoming a brighter, stronger, and more authentic version of yourself. See you in the next video, Gemini.